Hello, it's New Year's Eve, and my name is Stephen Normand. I'm the great nephew of Mabel Normand, and I'm here in my home, and I thought I'd like to take a moment on this New Year's Eve to show you some personal things which belong to my great aunt. And my New Year talk to you will be this particular moment, which I'm going to explain some things to you about my Aunt Mabel, which and also show you some things of hers which you might find of interest. The first thing I'd like to show you are these volumes of my Aunt Mabel's diaries. There are 16 of them, and they're embossed with her name, Mabel Normand, and they're leather, and they're here on this little table next to me. I shall just take the camera rather, and show you. There they are. There's 4 of them. And then next to them are a collection of books which belong to my Aunt Mabel. And again, you can see rather her name is inscribed on them. And this particular one is The Little Minister by J.M. Barrie. Another book which I have here, which is quite worn, is called An Enemy of the People and the Wild Duck. And that also has Mabel's embossed name on the book. I have Monsieur Maupin, the Théophile Gautier, by Gautier rather, and this is one of Mabel's personal books from her collection. These are all leather-bound books, which makes them very interesting, but they're very fragile, and I'm afraid they've been in storage for a number of years, so they're not exactly in the greatest of condition, but I am taking care of them the best I can. And here's another book that was hers. It's called The Poems of Pleasure, and this is by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. And this is very interesting because it has lots of lovely poems and written by a woman at the turn of the century, I believe. But Mabel has written a number of little quotes in there. And actually sitting right behind me, you might see, is the large painting, which is Aunt Mabel from Mickey, which I keep here in the house. And it's quite special. And right behind me, over my shoulder here, this shoulder, you'll see the picture of Mabel in her big picture hat. I'll show you that later. But anyway, this is a book called The Wit and Humor of America, by someone called Wilder. And this is Mabel's, Marshall P. Wilder. And it was published by Funk and Wagnalls in New York. And it's from 1909, 1907, and then it was republished in 1911 again. But this is her own personal copy, and it's very interesting to know what she actually read. And here's a very well-worn book that was hers called Tales from Gothia. Forgive my pronunciation, I'm not very good on this, but I just want to share these books with you because they're actually hers, and I think people do wonder whether I really have these objects or do I just talk. But in reality, I'm showing you tonight that I actually have these things, and it's lovely to be able to share them with you. Here's another one which Mabel's been spoken about with her knowledge of in that period of the psychology and how well read she was. But this is Nietzsche. And this was her personal little copy of Nietzsche, which was a great intellectual freedom at the time. And again, it's got lots of little notes written in her own hand in here. I won't go into great detail at the moment, but in the next year we'll be talking about these books, and I shall talk to you on these recordings and tell you all about her books personally and her little notes that she made in them. And this is another one which I thought I must show you tonight. You can see how fragile it is, but it actually has her book plate, which says from Mabel Normand library. And this is the works of Robert Louis Stevenson. And that's volume 6. Very fragile again. But just to think that Aunt Mabel actually read these books and touched them, and everything always makes me feel so special, as I've, not me being special, but special being able to read the books that she actually read herself. Occasionally one does hear that they bought her library or whatever, and I don't know what people are talking about when they say that her library has been bought, but I can assure you I have a great number of her books here in my own home and in storage. This is just a selection which I've taken because I want to begin to let people know the real truth. Again, this is another book. It's called The Wit and Humor of America, which is in 10 volumes. And this is written by Marshall Wilder. And it's just one of the number of books. Again, it's got Mabel's little book plate in it. And I just want to make it clear that I do have these objects, and it's really my privilege whether I share them or don't share them. And I don't like when people make accusations and say things that I am full of hot air or not, don't really have the possession of her diaries and things. I do have them, and at the moment, as I've said before, I'm not able to share exactly from her diaries because of legal complications, which is in the will, which our family has agreed to through my mother's best wishes prior to her passing. But I would like to show you now. There's the very famous painting from Mickey. And just below that you'll see that lovely picture, which was painted of Mabel in New York by Gibson. And just below that, actually, in the red velvet casing, are my mother's ashes from when she was cremated. And we keep them here at home until a proper time for putting them in California with Mabel's crypt. Now we go over here to the dining room, and I want to show you some more things which are Aunt Mabel's. Now this is very primitive, but here, right before you, is a serving plate, which was, or serving dish, vegetable serving dish, which was Aunt Mabel's, and it's from her china, which is, you can see the marking, it was made in England, and there's a whole set of this for 12 people, plates and things which we've used over Christmas. Now here's very interesting, her actual silverware, which I don't know whether you can see, with the monogram of Mabel Normand. Can you see that, the MN? What's interesting about this is there were the oyster forks, the dessert fork, the dinner fork, the knife, spoon, an actual teaspoon, and then the butter knife. Oh yes, this is the gravy bowl, which is very pretty and interesting because it's not actually attached to the plate. It actually, you take it off the plate, which was quite something. You can imagine that being passed around Mabel's dinner plate. Oh yes, and here is one of her plates, or rather crystal dishes, which has a bit of gold still left around the edging, and another one which they evidently put shrimps and the ice and or fish cold, or perhaps maybe one of you can help me, I don't know exactly, but I've been told that they did shrimp cocktail in those, and this was a grapefruit bowl, or a fruit bowl. Now there is the name of the company that actually serve Mabel for the silver, and it's Mabel Normand Limited in Los Angeles. And here is a lovely towel, hand towel, which we would have used if you were at Mabel's home. And you see her name, Mabel Normand, her initials rather. And at the moment, forgive me, this is very, very primitive, but I really wanted to do this tonight on New Year's Eve here in my home and share with you all these things about Mabel Normand, which means so very much to me. I hope you don't mind that I've not dressed properly, because I'm very particular about doing that. But I felt it was important to start the new year, 2011, with these things to show you. And I wanted to actually make it clear that there are 16 volumes of Mabel's diaries. And here they are. Isn't it wonderful? I'm so happy to have them and be able to, at some point this next year, take sections of them and read them to you, like a little story, perhaps like we've just had over Christmas, of which I love, the Christmas Carol. Anyway, from me, from Stephen Normand, Mabel Normand's great nephew, I want to wish you all a very happy New Year on behalf of Mabel and myself. I must admit to you, you can probably hear in my speaking to you that my breathing isn't very good, and that's because I'm suffering with bad heart, and I've had a slight stroke earlier, which I've recovered from, but I'm not quite myself, and I'm not really myself in my health, but I will try to do the best I can in this next year or so, if God wills, to share with you about our Mabel, and to continue to share with you the family knowledge of Mabel Normand. As I've said in my Christmas messages, I've been very grateful for all of you for what you do to support her, and also for the websites which do respond to Mabel's memory in a positive way. I'm very grateful for that too. But there are certain things which need to be cleared up, and I intend on doing that on my website concerning Mabel and Miss Julia Benson and Lou Cody and a few other little points of fact which I think over time have been confused. So I want to wish you all a very happy New Year, and again I hope you will continue to remember Aunt Mabel and know that I'm only trying to do the best for her, and I appreciate your support. So again, you may find that this tape has been quite amateur, and yes it is, because I don't understand all this business and I don't have anyone to help me, so I've done the best I could. But I'd rather you see something rather than nothing. So I wish you again all a very happy New Year to you and yours. Thank you.